Hidden inside your old smartphone might be more gold than a mine. Every year, the world throws away billions of phones, not just as junk, but as lost treasure. From rare metals to precious gold dust, e-waste has become a modern gold rush. But who's really cashing in? From backyard recyclers in Asia to massive European facilities, this global trade reveals both wealth and danger. This is the journey of how billions of old phones become gold, from start to finish. Every year, the world generates over 50 million tons of electronic waste. Discarded phones, laptops, and appliances. What most people see as trash, others see as treasure. Inside these heaps of broken electronics lies gold, silver, and copper worth billions. The sight is overwhelming. Mountains of wires, shattered screens, and tangled circuit boards piled higher than houses. Yet, this is where the story of e-waste gold recovery begins, a global industry quietly built on our obsession with technology. In countries like Ghana, India, and China, massive e-waste dumps stretch for kilometers, with workers dismantling electronics by hand. They strip motherboards, burn cables, and smash open hard drives just to reach the tiny specks of metal inside. It's hot, dangerous, and toxic work, yet thousands rely on it to survive. While the air fills with black smoke, the hidden gold inside every circuit keeps this chaotic economy alive. Each old smartphone contains only about 0.034 grams of gold, barely visible to the naked eye. But when millions of devices are discarded every year, that tiny amount adds up fast. In fact, a ton of e-waste can yield up to 100 times more gold than a ton of raw ore. It's a staggering fact that turns garbage into a modern-day gold mine. But the real question is, who's actually profiting from it? Across Asia and Africa, informal recycling centers have sprung up in cities where poverty meets opportunity. These makeshift workshops melt, burn, and dissolve old electronics using acid baths and crude furnaces. It's an underground system that runs on human labor rather than machines, exposing workers to mercury, lead, and cyanide fumes. Yet despite the risks, the lure of hidden gold keeps the cycle spinning endlessly, day after day. While the West prides itself on eco-friendly recycling, much of its electronic waste is secretly exported overseas. Containers labeled as donations or scrap actually carry millions of discarded devices to poorer nations. There, e-waste transforms into toxic wealth, fueling both survival and pollution. It's the dark side of our modern convenience, where yesterday's gadgets become today's gold rush, buried beneath smoke and sweat. Once the valuable parts are separated, the true work of recovery begins. Tiny fragments of metal are ground, heated, and soaked in harsh chemical solutions to strip away plastic and impurities. Nitric acid, cyanide, and aqua regia, the same deadly mixtures used in mining, are poured into tubs to dissolve the metals. What remains is a toxic soup of liquid gold. It's a dangerous process, often done with no safety gear, yet it reveals the hidden fortune inside discarded electronics. As the solution bubbles, pure gold slowly starts to form. It settles at the bottom as fine, dark dust, fragile yet precious. Workers scoop it out, dry it, and heat it in small makeshift furnaces until it melts into bright, glowing droplets. Slowly, these droplets fuse into small nuggets, their metallic shine returning after years trapped inside devices. In that moment, trash is transformed into treasure, with every gram holding stories of risk, danger, and survival. But not every country handles it the same way. In Japan, South Korea, and Germany, automated refineries use high-tech systems to extract gold safely and efficiently. Robots separate materials, advanced filters capture fumes, and every chemical is recycled. It's a stark contrast to the open-air burning yards of developing nations, where profit outweighs protection. The gold may be the same, but the process defines who benefits, the rich world or the workers at the bottom. Despite the dangers, the value is undeniable. A single ton of discarded circuit boards can yield as much as 300 grams of gold, worth over $20,000. This makes e-waste one of the richest sources of precious metals on Earth. Yet, the workers who risk their lives handling acid and smoke often earn just a few dollars a day. It's a brutal reminder that the world's thirst for gold never comes cheap. As molten gold cools, it's molded into small bars or flakes, ready to be sold to middlemen and jewelry makers. But behind every glittering gram lies a trail of broken screens, burned plastic, and human struggle. What began as discarded electronics has now become a commodity, pure, valuable, and globally traded. And while industries praise urban mining, it's the unseen hands in scrapyards that keep this silent refinery alive. While small scrapyards handle the dirty work, massive corporations have turned e-waste recycling into a billion-dollar industry. Facilities in Switzerland, Japan, and the United States process hundreds of thousands of tons of discarded electronics every year. Inside these high-tech plants, robotic arms dismantle devices in seconds, feeding conveyor belts that lead to shredders and separation chambers. Every step is automated, precise, efficient, and clean. This is where technology meets profit, turning global waste into industrial gold. At the heart of these facilities are massive furnaces that reach temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius. Shredded e-waste is melted and refined through electrolysis, an advanced process that separates pure gold molecules from other metals using electricity. The result is astonishing. From mountains of scrap emerge gleaming bars of gold so pure they can be used in space technology and precision electronics. Unlike small-scale recyclers, these plants waste nothing, capturing every valuable particle. Globally, it's estimated that over 300 tons of gold are recovered from electronic waste every year, worth billions of dollars. And yet, only a fraction of the world's e-waste is properly recycled. The rest ends up in landfills or informal dumps across Africa and Asia. Big corporations claim to champion green recovery, but most of their gold still relies on supply chains built on informal labor and overseas waste exports. The wealth remains centralized, the risk exported. In nations like Japan, even medals for the Tokyo Olympics were made from recycled electronics. It's a symbolic act showing how trash can be turned into triumph. Yet for every celebrated project, countless others remain hidden, where unregulated recyclers work amid toxic fumes and poverty. The contrast is jarring. One side polishes gold for global events, the other breathes in poison just to survive. Behind the gleam of industrial gold recovery lies a quiet monopoly. A handful of corporations dominate the trade, buying e-waste cheaply from developing countries and refining it for massive profits. While the world celebrates sustainability, the same cycle continues. Poor nations export their waste, rich ones extract the gold. It's a cycle polished clean by corporate PR, but the truth remains buried in the smoke of scrapyards. For every ton of gold recovered from electronics, countless tons of toxic residue are left behind. Circuit boards contain lead, mercury, and cadmium, all deadly to the environment. In unregulated sites, acid baths and burning pits release these chemicals into rivers and soil. The irony is sharp. Recycling gold from electronics was meant to save the planet, yet when done carelessly, it poisons the very ground it claims to protect. Communities living near e-waste sites face severe consequences. In parts of Ghana, India, and the Philippines, children grow up surrounded by piles of discarded electronics. They dismantle them with bare hands, unaware of the long-term harm. Studies show lead levels in their blood many times higher than safe limits. What was once seen as a source of income has become a silent health disaster, one that rarely makes headlines beyond local borders. Even in advanced recycling systems, the process is far from perfect. Extracting metals through electrolysis and smelting demands immense amounts of energy. This generates significant carbon emissions, making e-waste recovery one of the most energy-intensive recycling processes on Earth. Each device saved from landfills comes at the hidden cost of greenhouse gases, a trade-off few consumers ever consider when upgrading their gadgets. Governments and environmental groups are pushing for a circular economy, where electronics are reused or repaired instead of discarded. But enforcing it globally is a challenge. Different regulations, weak enforcement, and the sheer pace of technology make total sustainability nearly impossible. As new models flood the market, the pile of old devices grows taller, while the promise of clean recycling remains largely theoretical. The real question isn't how efficiently we can extract gold from waste. It's whether we should keep producing so much of it in the first place. Until production slows, recycling will only treat the symptoms, not the cause. For now, the world keeps digging, melting, and refining, hoping that turning trash into treasure will somehow offset the damage left behind. E-waste recycling is evolving fast through innovation. Engineers are redesigning gadgets with recycling in mind. Modular phones, dissolvable circuit boards, and AI-driven sorting systems that detect gold and copper instantly. These advances aim to turn e-waste recovery from a dangerous manual job into a clean, automated science. The more efficient this becomes, the less the world will need to dig new mines just to feed its endless demand for technology. Biomining is now changing the game entirely. Certain bacteria can extract gold from shredded electronics without using acids or heat. They feed on metal compounds and release pure gold as a byproduct, a process that's safe, green, and nearly self-sustaining. Scientists believe this could be the future of urban mining, where city waste becomes a steady, renewable source of precious metals. But innovation alone isn't enough. Only a small percentage of global e-waste ever reaches a proper recycling facility. The rest ends up burned or buried, leaking toxins into air and soil. Without stricter global standards, advanced nations will keep exporting their trash while developing countries carry the burden of cleanup. The technology exists. What's missing is commitment. Consumers now hold more power than ever. When people choose repairable products and return old devices to certified centers, industries are forced to adapt. Some tech giants already promise to use 100% recycled materials in future devices. It's a small start, but every recycled chip, screen, and circuit helps reduce the environmental cost of our connected world. Up next, we'll uncover how transparent materials turn into life-saving armor strong enough to stop bullets. If you learned something new today, share this video with someone who upgrades too often. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, from start to finish. How trillions of layers form bulletproof glass, from sand to shield.